It has been a minute, it has been a while, but that's not why we're here. We're not here to talk about me. We're not here to talk about where I've been. We're here to talk about, this is probably the best accessory for a lot of people. A lot of people that have either a Tesla Model Y with induction wheels or the Uber turbines. We're talking about the induction wheels with me because we all know that Teslas are prone to curb rash. And sadly, I have to say I have become a victim of the dreaded curb rash. At 52,000 miles, I finally hit a curb. But instead of getting it fixed or replacing an entire rim, the great people over at Magbak have hooked it up with the Rimcase. Now, obviously, I wish I had this before to prevent this all from happening in the first place, but this will also just mask that damage and that eyesore that is curb rash on my Tesla Model Y. Now, what this thing does, it's essentially just what the name says, is a rim case. So basically it goes all the way around the rim and it protects your rims from curb rash. So I'd rather have this on my car, and if I, God forbid, did curb again, I'd rather damage this than damaging my 800, I don't even know how much the rims cost, but I would love to have it damage this versus actually damaging my expensive, beautiful rims on my Tesla. So let's go ahead and unbox this. So right out the gate, obviously we don't need that. We have a manual just to give you some instructions on exactly how to do it. And it's very simple. I mean, it's not really rocket science on how to install it. It's a circle. But what I think is already unique about the rim case is obviously it's a product to protect your rims from curb rash, but also it prevents the product from damaging the rims itself. So it comes with these little stickers, these little adhesive stickers that go around the rim itself. It plays as a barrier between the rim and the rim case. So as you're driving, the rim case isn't scraping the rim and scratching it. I've seen other competitors put on hubcaps that go over your existing rims, but if you ever wanted to take them off, I've seen as soon as you take them off, they're all scratched up. There's tons of dirt and all that gunk underneath it, but this is gonna prevent it from scratching. Also, there is another sleeve that is for the bigger area of the rim. Same thing, it plays as a protectant between the rim and the actual case itself. And moving forward, it comes with some alcohol wipes because you want to clean off and make sure that you're working on a clean surface. Like I said, you don't want dirt to be in between your rim and the rim case because that would just defeat the whole purpose of protection. So make sure you guys clean it off and then finish it off with some alcohol wipes. And then lastly, you have the product itself, and they're just these little plastic pieces that go all the way around like this. Obviously I can't get them all, but that's how they work. And they have 3M adhesive tape on the back, so then that way when you apply that little plastic strip that I was talking about, the 3M tape is actually gonna rest on that portion. And then, like I said, the bigger that little plastic piece, that will come on this portion. So you have protection, and then the 3M tape is gonna go over that protection. So I feel like they did a really good job right out of the gate just to prevent the product itself from hurting the rim. So that's basically what comes in the pack. You get a pack of 4 because obviously you have 4 wheels. But the cool thing obviously is that these are modular. So let's say, God forbid, that you do curb rash and you damage one of these pieces or 2 of these pieces or 3 of these pieces. Instead of buying an entire set of 4 or again, replacing your rim, you can buy one box and replace as you go. So this is a modular system that is future-proofing you if you do damage in the future. So this is an awesome way that Magbak has designed this. I've seen others that are one piece, but the moment you curb it, then the whole thing is done. It may be an easier install, but if you damage it, you have to buy the whole thing again. Versus with this, if you damage one section, you can just buy one section. You don't have to buy the whole thing over again, which I think is super clutch. So we're gonna head out to the car and install these onto my Tesla Model Y. All right, so here we are with the car. And just to show you, this is my back rear wheel. So I actually just got my tires rotated. So this wheel was actually on the front passenger, But as you can see, this is where my curb rash is. So about a month ago, I scraped it right against the curb. It's actually not that bad. It's very small, but just imagine if this was worse. I can then just take this piece and literally put it right over, just like that. And I'll do that all the way around. And the one thing I noticed while I was just doing a fitment test, it has a little lip, so it actually hooks right underneath here. Then the 3M tape sticks to that plastic piece that I was talking about earlier, right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply all those little strips around the rim and then get these installed. So the one thing you wanna be mindful of is that these little small strips go on the outward parts, and then the big pieces go right here on the inward. So you wanna make sure that you line these up on here. It doesn't really have to be perfect, but it just needs to fall right there. Then you're good to go. And I forgot to mention that it also comes with this little piece, and it's meant to give you some leverage once you have the two final pieces to connect them. But I'm also gonna use this just to tuck in a little bit more of that adhesive to be behind the lip of the rim. And like I mentioned before, this doesn't need to be perfect by any means. It should just be tucked up high enough, so then that way once you put the covering over, that you don't have some of this adhesive showing underneath. And that will make it look kind of tacky. And I think this is gonna be the longest part of the entire install, because it's kind of tedious and kind of cumbersome getting these adhesive pieces off. And then we're gonna move on to the big spokes area right here. And then this is probably the only specific one that you really need to be mindful of as far as the big spokes area. You have one for your air spout right here for when you put air in your tire, and specifically cut out just for that. I just want to get that right on there. There you go. And like I keep saying, it does not need to be perfect. All this stuff is going to be covered. All right, so I got that complete. I will say this is probably going to be the most tedious part, is applying this. And if you're old like me, your knees will definitely get a burn workout here. And then I can only assume that pulling off this 3M tape is going to be just as annoying. So you're going to want to start with this piece right here. It's very important that you start with this piece and work clockwise all the way around. Remember, start with this piece right here and work clockwise. That is what the instructions say. So we're going to follow the instructions. This tool to lift up, so we'll see if we actually need it or not. Oh, fairly easy. And then there it is, completely on there and finished. There are some areas that I feel like I could have done better, like right here. Like I was saying before, it's like you want to make sure you tuck them in away from the edges. I only have like one or two that are like that, but that's the cool thing about this, is that you can just pop them off and fix it, reapply it, then you're good to go. And also when you're putting on this final piece, where this piece connects to one of these, just try to make sure that this is not on the ground level. I had a little difficulty there, but just move your car forward or backward, just get it off the ground, and you'll be able to have that leverage to use that tool to get that last piece connected. But other than that, I think it's very good looking. Obviously, this is for preventative measures. Obviously, I would love to have it without, but I think it looks great, and it's also just going to protect. It does take a little bit. I would say it's very tedious just getting the film off of the paper. That's probably the hardest part, honestly. It took me about 20 minutes to do this one wheel, so you probably need like an hour or so to do all four. So I'm gonna leave you guys with this one. I'm gonna go ahead and continue and finish off the rest of the tires. And just to give you guys some reference before I continue, here is the tire with the product on, and then here is the tire with nothing on. That's just the raw tire. So I think they did a really good job getting the color match. Obviously, like once I clean my rims and clean my tires, that's gonna look super sleek, super clean. Obviously my car is a mess right now, but once you polish these and you get it nice and clean, no one's gonna be able to tell the difference until they actually look at it. So I'm super excited to get the rest of these on the tires. I gotta send a huge shout out to Magbak for sending these over. Absolutely love them. Super glad they sent them. Wish they came a little bit sooner before I actually curved my rims, but that's on me. Huge shout out to them. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. And if you guys like this, I'll have a link down in the description down below for you guys. And if you like content like this, make sure you guys comment, like this video, and subscribe to the channel. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.